What's going on, Phenoms? I wanted to go over a little baddie with you today. This baddie is the G&G MXC9. I got to use it at Oceanside, California at Modern Airsoft. And let me tell you, there's quite a few things about this thing that makes it special. Before I go to the breakdown, if you would like to just go straight to the gameplay, go ahead and click on the link below or the timestamp below, and that will take you straight to the gameplay. So if you want to cut all this intermission stuff about this bad gun right here, go ahead, just click on the timestamp here and go to the portion of the video that has the gameplay. If you do want to hear a little bit about this, I just want to disclose to you now, I am not sponsored by G&G in any way, and everything I'm going to be discussing and disclosing about this replica is strictly my opinion. If you don't agree with that, or if you have different experiences with that, that's great. I'm happy for you. This is just going to be stuff that I experienced with my version. If there's any inconsistencies there, well, then you just probably got a better version, or you probably know something that I do not. In addition to that, this review is not going to go over anything about the gearbox whatsoever. I don't mess with any innards on or anything. Typically with gearboxes, I usually have people that work on gearboxes for me, because the several times that I've done it, I have no patience when it comes to a lot of that stuff. So everything that we're going to go over today is strictly the functionality of this replica, in addition to all the additions and features that this replica has. That's what the general breakdown of this review is going to consist of. Basically going through the positives of this replica first, and then last I'm going to go into the negatives. And again, this is going to be probably the section that is circumstantial, or basically more something that I experienced. Maybe not each and one of you experienced, but it's just something that I went through. So yeah, it's ready to go. So I got the enhanced version. So this particular version comes with everything you see here minus the tracer unit. So it comes with a large 170 round mag. In addition to that, it also comes with a smaller 130 round mag. The 170 round mag, you definitely feel it, especially running it at Modern Airsoft field, the indoor field in Oceanside. I go through rounds and I didn't even have to reload it. Yeah, that was nice. And running two mags for something like that, that's plenty. Coming from the QRF, I only have 80 rounds of magazine. So to compare, this is the large 170 for the G&G. This is my QRF Mod 1 mag. The size itself, you may think it's indicative of the capacity, but it's specifically an 80 round mag, whereas this guy here is 170, so 100% a W for mag capacity. The second I would like to go over is the polymer frame. One thing that is important for any CQB, or just for the matter of any airsoft endeavor, is the weight. A lot of times you have, replicas that have real steel, more steel frame or steel body, or certain innards that are more steel based. When it's like that, it gives it more of its realism. It's more realistic feel to it. But when you're actually running and gunning with it, the heavier the replica it is, the harder it is to maneuver it. But the polymer frame here, it's a well constructed polymer, so it does feel durable. It's not gonna just crack and crumble as soon as you drop it, but it's got that lightweight feel to it, so you don't necessarily have that cumbersome feel to it as you're maneuvering this in and out of cover or through tight spaces. So I gotta give it to G&G for its well crafted, well structured polymer body with a lot of the innards that is in this to make it what it does, and also the balance of it. It's well balanced for what this thing is. And I have the QRF. To be honest, I think the QRF weighs more than this, and that's no joke. So again, I'd have to put them side by side, but 100% this thing feels really, really good in the hands. That's a huge W. The ambidextrous controls are definitely a huge W for this replica. It's nice to basically have functionality between right-handed shooters, left-handed shooters. And the mag release is super convenient and easy. It's at the base of the mag well, so if you need to quick change, it's super easy. The mag well is plenty big, so you're not having to find a place for insertion. It's ready to go and super easy to discharge. In addition to that, the hop-up chamber can be accessed from this rail on the slide. And again, ambidextrous in mind, there's two functions. There's two areas you can pull from. Pull from the left, pull from the right. Accessing the hop-up chamber, it is super easy, and it retains the lock position when you pull it back. So even if you let this thing slide forward, it's not going anywhere. Got a rotary dial there, and as soon as you're done, it has a release lever here on both sides, here and there. And as soon as you're ready to go, you got it where you want it, you release the lever, re-engage the bolt, essentially the mock bolt. All right, and that's on both sides. Again, access here on the other side. super cool. In addition to that, you have an ambidextrous selector switch here. As you can see, this side also engaging it from the other. They're thinking about their left and right-handed shooters, and honestly, that should be more implemented in the majority of Airsoft replicas. When it comes to the trigger guard, the extra room that the trigger guard offers makes it actually much easier to get the finger from your glove inside without having to like snag or, you know, clip part of your glove on the actual trigger guard itself. So that additional room didn't even feel like you were wearing gloves. It's a nice addition, and I definitely felt like, oh man, is there actually a trigger guard here at some point? That coupled with the actual trigger itself, this trigger feels nice. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I have competitive max triggers that feel similar to this, and the response with this trigger is actually really nice. I mean, I believe it has a Gen 4 MOSFET, and the response with the trigger is actually, it's impressive enough out the box. It's quick enough. There's not much delay and lag in trigger response, and I was spamming the trigger pretty good out that field for those first couple rounds, and I didn't really have any hesitation from this thing. Another big win for that. It functions as intended. The QRF only has 3 stock adjustments that I could see. Maybe it's because my thing's so worn out. I believe it's only 3 adjustments. This comes with 6. So you got the 1 up to 6. So every little bit you can adjust the stock to your liking, and I think that is awesome. That's neat and big win for G&G. And lastly, that I highlighted, the mounts, the sling mounts. So you have obviously the loop, you have the little points, one there, and even one on the other side right there. Lots of areas you can mount a sling to and run it to your liking. Those are a few positive things about this replica. I'm going to go into some of the negative things because there are a few. The compartment for the battery. The only thing that I need to say about it, I'm going to show you. I'm going to demonstrate exactly what I'm talking about because I didn't realize the issue and I didn't think it would be an issue, but I'm going to show you right now. There's a few things about this compartment that can be problematic. In the compartment itself, there's a little part here that seats. So this is where the battery goes in, goes through the stock. You have that capacity. Typically, any type of stick battery will fit in there. I mean, within reason, right? But I want to show you a little bit of damage that I got, and let's see if you can actually see what I see. Start right there, and it goes all the way across. There is a perforation on the battery. Yeah, right there. You can see it by my index finger. So what happened is, essentially as the battery sits, so it slides in here, and this right here closes on top of it. And when it closes on top and you're sliding the stock back down, there is pieces inside the actual stock that are sharp. And they're hard. It's hard plastic that sticks out. So as your battery is sliding wherever your stock started and it's sliding down to get an optimal position, it is squeezing and pressing that battery in. So on a different battery that is in a different gun out on the side, it actually stripped the layering of the battery, exposing little bits of the inside of the battery. The space itself makes sense because, I mean, you have to put the battery somewhere, and for symmetry and sleekness, you're gonna have a tight compartment, and it does give you a lot of room to really work with. So if you have a long stick battery, it will fit, and it'll stop where it needs to stop, and that's the extent that you have. But it's not about that. The stuff inside, when it's pressing and it's closing, whatever the part of the plastic that's in there, it's compressing or squeezing your battery, and this little rail piece is even further pinching it, causing impressions on the battery. So that's a little odd. I don't like it. So I have to put it as a con. This other point too, since I'm already at the stock, what the heck is that? Tamiya? You got all this badass stuff on here. We're still using a Tamiya connection. I know this one right here might be a little circumstantial. Might be just based on certain builds for me, and you'll see it in the video. One thing that I noticed while playing was it was very, very easy to, when I was in fire, fire, my thumb on the other side, it would easily move the selector, creating the selector to be basically between semi and full auto. And well, it would do it. It does it easily, and I didn't even do it with contact at points. It was easily moving the switch, and obviously you know what that does. It causes a misfire in terms of instead of single fire, you're doing like a burst, or like it tries to do full auto, then it corrects itself back to semi, blah blah blah, back and forth, and you're not permitted to do that. And I would adjust it. I would fling it down, go play, and it would just end up back. Full auto, full auto. Oh, geez, sorry, man. I just lit you up close with full auto. Back to semi, play, and it just finds its way back to that position. And it happened a lot. So I understand with the selector switches, you can tighten them, and I apply tension to the selector switch to make it as tight as I could possibly make it, and it's still pretty loose. This one I'm gonna show you footage. I'm gonna pop it up on the screen right now as I'm talking about it, but the barrel thread is 14 millimeter. So anyone that wants to attach a suppressor to it, or not suppressor, a suppressor or a tracer unit, it's a 14 millimeter. So I run the lighter BT tracer unit, and it doesn't come. It came with an adapter to thread to a 14 millimeter barrel, but it's a little like a socket like, you know, contraption that goes onto the barrel, and you have like a little disc that this kind of screws onto, counter to clockwise. And the issue is this handguard here, it can come off, exposing the outer barrel. The outer barrel is low. I mean, the outer barrel, let's see, it starts right here. That's the tip where the threads would be on the outer barrel. In my head, I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna run this tracer. I know it'll fit this barrel. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the handguard, exposing the outer barrel. I'm gonna attach the tracer unit to the barrel. Then I'm gonna just put the handguard, the shroud, over, and, you know, tighten it back up, be squared away, good to go. Sounds so simple and basic. Yeah, that didn't work out very well for me. So I got through all that, took the handguard off, put the tracer unit on, make sure it was nice and tight. I got the handguard and I attempted to put it over, and it got stuck. So this unit is super tight. Yeah, it did not fit. It did not go through, and it was stuck about halfway. I could not get it over. So I was forced to take it off, the handguard on, and then try to finesse it on once the handguard is on. And let me tell you, it took more than my two hands to do it. I had to get my wife to help me because I just could not do it. And we had to use tools to get it to work. And if you can see where the adapter is. Let's see if I can get that camera just right. Hey, see that right there? That little disc. Right there. It's where it threads to. So I had to get that on there, apply tension. Obviously my fingers can't fit in here, so I had to use little tools to tighten it, and then at the same time tighten this the opposite direction to get it threaded onto the adapter. So that was the most monotonous, tedious task I've ever had to do with any Airsoft replica. Granted, most of you are gonna be in the comments, you could have just got a different tracer unit. But the thing is, if you have a tracer unit that you know works with certain threading barrels, then they should work. Shouldn't be any issues. This one was a pain in the ass to get it to work. So it was a monotonous thing. It was annoying, and it was troublesome. So be sure if you're gonna have a tracer unit, will it fit through this when you apply the handguard, putting it back through? Because if it doesn't, you're SOL. You're gonna have to do it the other way. Again, I guess the main con for this, recessed barrel. That was annoying. Granted, it looks cool as a recessed barrel because the actual tracer unit starts lower and it comes out. I get the intent, but for what it was worth and all the stuff that I had to go through, troublesome. I will say that. Everything else, as far as, you know, aesthetics, as far as functionality, you will see everything else. Those are the only cons that I could see and experience in my limited time with it so far. It was all day play. I played for a few rounds, went to my QRF because I was already intending to play with it. I had my dad use this thing, and I watched him use it, and he was nailing everybody left and right with this thing. And it is a crisp replica. I mean, you'll see the footage. It's nailing people. It's a bad little replica, man. It's bad. It's awesome. Let me know if you have similar issues and or the same or different. Add to the discussion, because I want to see if there's anything else that there is something I need to be concerned with or observe for myself. So definitely just engage in that dialogue. I'll be more than happy to correspond with you and communicate back and forth, because this is going to be something that I do from here on out for things that I get. Without further ado, I'm going to take you to the video. I want you to let me know what you think of that video and how I perform with it, or how you prefer your replicas to operate, and how you, if you have an MXC9, what you think of it. Again, everyone, thank you for watching this. Let's tune into the gameplay.
Nope. Yep. Red team, are you ready? Alright.
Hey.
We're going with this 5-minute round team deathmatch.
I haven't used this at all.
Go, 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 go!
Hit! Sorry. Yeah.
Go, 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 go!
Hit. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh. Oh, you okay? Okay. Oh, sorry.
Let me know what you think of the MXC9. I am bringing another video of my full day at Modern Airsoft, so be on the lookout for that. Until next time, I will see you all in the field very soon.